What's going on, guys? This is iHeartSEC. I'm your host, Joe Bombo. Make sure you're following us on all socials at Bombo ENT Group. And we're back. It's been a minute, but it's been a lot of things going on. You had SEC Media Days. We were spending 3-4 days compiling data, getting these quotes and figuring out what these teams are looking like as they move forward to this year's season. And then you had ACC Media Days. A lot of bouncing around from this room to that room, collecting, uploading content onto the page just to keep the intrigue going, because we do have a couple teams that will be playing ACC competition in the first couple weeks. And of course, take a little vacation for myself down in South Florida just to cleanse the palate, because this is a long SEC football season up ahead of us. And this is a new iHeartSEC season. Now, listen, there's been some things stewing for a while that I've been thinking about. There's been some talking. There's been a lot of drama, to say the least. There's been a lot of blasphemy when it comes to this thing we treat damn near like religion down here, called SEC football. Let's rewind a few weeks ago.
Wikipedia, but I actually covered Cam Newton at Auburn.
Oh, I remember.
And I was actually quite aware of why he left the University of Florida. You might call Urban Meyer. He'll be happy to tell you that Cam Newton, because he told me, is the worst guy he has ever dealt with in his college career. Now, that's saying a great deal considering some of the 30 for 30s have been done on a few of his other players. But I just wanted to make that point. Urban likes to whitewash history.
Let's start right there. If you look down on the lower third of that clip, the headline reads, Paul Finebaum has high praise for Arch Manning. Now, let's not overlook the fact that in that same segment, Paul described Arch as the best quarterback prospect since Tim Tebow. See, that's where you get triggered. And I've been stewing about this. And the fact still remains. The original topic was praise for Arch Manning. So, I wonder, why did this turn into a Cam Newton character assassination? Like, I don't love using the word fair, but I was just watching this SEC documentary on Netflix, and the very first voice I heard was Paul Finebaum. Your opinion matters to the masses. So with that influence comes expectation. And that means you've got to be careful and accurate with your words. Because in this case, Paul, your kick went wide right. Or to put it in terms that you would appreciate from the 2013 Iron Bowl, that attempt fell way short. Let's break this down. This isn't a defense piece of Cam Newton. This is more of a rebuttal to Paul Finebaum's blatant dismissal of who Cam Newton was and is to college football. You can't rewrite that man's legacy to folks that did not witness what happened in 2011. See, if you go back to a Club Shay Shay interview from last year, this was before Finebaum ever made these statements that he made a few weeks ago. And this is where research comes in. Because I doubt Paul Finebaum ever watched the Club Shay Shay episode. But me, when it comes to SEC football or SEC period and there's an interview, I'm going to tune in. Sidebar, there's also an interview that Club Shay Shay did with Johnny Manziel, which is fire. That's one that we will break down on a later date. But back to the subject at hand. When you watch that Shay Shay interview, you get another perspective from Cam himself.
So some things transpired. You get into a little trouble with a computer, and you end up.
But that wasn't the reason why I left. The reason why I left, did I get in trouble? Yes. That was already taken care of.
Okay.
Prior to me leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't get kicked out of
But
Florida.
see, that's how they framed the story.
Yeah, I didn't get kicked out of Florida.
Okay.
I left Florida.
Okay.
And when Tebow announced that, oh, and by the way, I'm coming back, I said, oh,
It was a no-brainer, did it? Oh, yeah.
I gotta leave now. I wasn't playing when you was here. So, and then for Urban's sake, you couldn't even identify who the backup was between me and John Bradley. I'm like, bro, what are we going on? We fighting for scraps? So I had a conversation with my father to say, like, Pop, it's time to kind of rethink this thing, because I would not have wanted a backup to me to have the energy to say, I only can play if he get hurt.
Now, sure, some would say Cam's just protecting himself, or he's gonna do what helps his case. That's fair. But then Finebaum goes even further.
But the point being that Cam Newton got kicked off the team, as you know. He went to Blaine Junior College. He only played one meaningful year. And on the final play of Cam Newton's career, Gene Chizik told me this, by the way, the former Auburn coach. He told Cam Newton to take a knee in the national championship game. Cam Newton decided to be Superman and tried to dive over the pile against Oregon, and he failed, nearly fumbling the ball, and they had to kick a field goal to win the national championship. I bring up all this ancient history. Cam Newton was selfish. Tim Tebow was the consummate team player.
But you know Cam was going to respond, and he did so on his fourth and one podcast.
I'm gonna take the high road on this. After great counsel amongst my team. But boy, let me tell you.
Great count. Great prayer.
It's hard for me to believe, Paul. It's hard for me to believe. I mean hard for me to believe that you like me. It's evident. It's written all over your tone. It's written all over your words. It's written all over the way you explain and give examples referring to Cam Newton. He's like, Paul, the source is identified. Do you really think I was the worst player that Urban Meyer has ever dealt with? Your words, not mine. And normally, Paul, my guy, I really appreciate what you have been for the multitude of fans. You are, for people who don't know Paul Finebaum is the Wooge, the Adam Schefter of college football, okay? And for him to say these things in reference to me is almost like a slap in my face. And to think about this way, and look how far we've come. Normally, a Paul Finebaum could say this, and guess what? I couldn't say anything about it.
You wouldn't have a platform.
I wouldn't have a platform.
Where we at now?
But Paul, I'm going to take the high road. But what I really want to tell you, my member of the media brother, you're lying. And stop it.
You've been lying.
Please. Because that slander, that mud that you're throwing, the real reason why he got kicked off the team, well, tell the people. They're like, well, what you going to say? Because I stole a laptop? That's not true, because Urban Meyer would tell you. I had to transfer. While Tim Tebow was there, I wasn't going to play, Paul. So I had to go and transfer. But the reason why I left is because of the reason why I went there in the first place. I went there to play football.
You did not get kicked out.
I did not get kicked off the team, Paul. Normally, I would have had to take that pie to the face or that rib shot or that sucker punch. But nah, now members of the media look like a bunch of brothers and sisters that have been in the locker room and can speak their truth. I like where I'm at, Peggy.
Come on, keep it rolling.
Nah, even with that, don't downplay my little one meaningful year.
Blaine Junior College. He only played one meaningful year.
Because what I did in 365 days, Paul, I may have to remind you, I did more than your favorite player did in 4 years. Whoever your favorite player is, I'm not. And just so we all know, when you talk to Gene Chizik, it is true, right? As a leader of a team, you're forced and have the opportunity to make certain decisions. So going back to your last moment when you said that it was told to me to take a knee on the 1 yard line, when I had a discussion with my teammates and they said, Cam, if you can sneak it, sneak it. Okay, cool. But to add in nearly fumble, I didn't jump over the top. Paul. It was probably the pretense to what we call now the tush push. It didn't work. We still had a timeout.
See, here's the thing about narratives and about the internet that we live in these days. You can always go back and do your research. So I did. Let's rewind it back to those final moments of that Auburn-Oregon national title game.
Wonderful drama we've had here tonight.
Because of the size advantage that Auburn has, 45 pounds per man up front.
Right.
You've got to just go right into the middle, right up between the right guard or left guard. Oh, they're kicking a field goal. Oh, my bad. What the heck?
I thought maybe you were going to send Byram on him up here now. So here it comes. The senior for St. Thomas Aquinas, and timeout. They're called by the Ducks.
I still, with 10 seconds, would consider running the football. You got 2 timeouts there.
I think Malzahn might be lobbying. That's for you, Herbie. Your point of view.
Run the big thing.
I think Malzahn is lobbying.
That's what they must have. Did somebody call them from up here? Run the football. Use your timeout.
I think that's exactly what happened.
You hear Kirk Herbstreit and Brent Musburger, longtime college football lifers. They question the field goal attempt. You hear them say it. They also say they should have ran the ball. You also hear them speculating Malzahn lobbying for a play.
This is how the season should end, right? Cam Newton, by far the player of the year in the country, should score the game-winning touchdown.
Final play of Cam Newton's career. Gene Chizik told me this, by the way, the former Auburn coach. He told Cam Newton to take a knee in the national championship game. Cam Newton decided to be Superman and tried to dive over the pile against Oregon, and he failed, nearly fumbling the ball, and they had to kick a field goal to win the national championship.
Oregon doesn't have a chance to return the kickoff is what they're going to try to do. And he's trying to sneak in first of all and didn't make it, and now they've got to stop it. So now,
that looked like a quarterback sneak from someone selfish. I'm just saying. Did that look like Cam went rogue? Did that even look like Gene Chizik was upset with what was going on? Like, come on, man. Let's slow this all the way down. It's a stretch to compare Arch Manning to Tim Tebow. And honestly, that's a reach for Paul Finebaum. He tried to paint Arch as this next level leader off the field, which is okay, fine. I'm not here to question his leadership or him as a person. But then it pivoted into this weird comparison with Cam Newton. Like, when did this become about Cam's personality? When did personal traits become criteria for on-field greatness? When? And be quite frank, that was uncalled for. And it was an unmitigated shot at a legend in college football. Now, if we're talking respect and legacy, yeah, Tim Tebow won 2 national titles. Yes, he started as a freshman. I respect all of that. Chef's kiss as a career. Couldn't done anything better. I guess he'll probably say differently. But Cam, 1 year, 1 season, and that season was legendary. Don't take my words for it. Take it from an NFL Hall of Famer who praised Cam more than most media pundits ever will.
This year I'm going JUCO. And on top of that, what really ticked me the fuck off was when my father had called Urban to ask for a championship ring. He didn't give me a championship ring. So that really was my driving force to becoming the player who I was. I said, don't worry about it. I'm gonna go get my own. Got one at JUCO, got one at Auburn.
You could make the case given the talent that you had at Auburn on the offensive side, Cam, you had the greatest offensive season for a quarterback in NCAA history. Now, I know Joe Burrow threw for 60 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, but he had Justin Jefferson, he had Jamar Chase, he had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he had, I forget the guy's name. He's
Moss, tight end.
Moss at tight end. And he had, if I'm not mistaken, other wide receiver, the third wide receiver is in Carolina now. So what you had, look at what you didn't have and what you were able to accomplish.
We can listen to secondhand takes. We can hear from the man himself. Or we can put all that together and make our own educated conclusions. And when you do, it's clear. Mr. Finebaum, you're wrong.
You're lying. And stop it.
If you're into fresh takes and real insight on all things SEC, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X at Bombo ENT Group. This is iHeartSEC. We live SEC. We is SEC. We big SEC. Until next time.